I'm Key Pullen, the brass arranger for Santa Clara Vanguard.
And I'm Pete Weber, the visual designer.
Here we are with Ravel's Daphnis and Chloé. This is the introduction that goes right into the war dance.
Our 2007 show was entitled Eureka, Putting the Pieces Together. And the way we put our program together this year was we started with some great music and the visual ideas followed. Eureka serves as a couple things, as a visual and verbal exclamation. It's also the California state motto, by the way, which worked well for us at going to Pasadena. So we developed this idea of a giant jigsaw puzzle. And if you found the solution, you exclaim Eureka. So we started with the cymbal line coming out of the corner here, and we developed a motif of a four-person spinning idea that was actually inspired by Stanley Kubrick's movie 2001 Space Odyssey. Kind of the bone in the beginning where they throw it up in the air and it spins and spins and spins, and they make a great cut to the spaceship.
One of my favorite things was how you tied it together from 2006. We ended with Moto Perpetuo going through the cymbal V, and we started 2007, back in the corner, four cymbals, trumpet soloist.
Yeah, it came out of the same corner, almost as if we motoed our way back onto the field in 2007. The cymbals spin all the way from the corner and find their place in the puzzle right on the 50-yard line in the center of this form.
I like how the guard impaled themselves on the pole there. A lot of people expect a big burst of color there, and we chose to go the opposite way.
2007 was a 40th anniversary for the Vanguard, so we reached into the pockets, tried to find as many iconic visual moments as we can. Right there we had the Viper by the cymbal line, which is a classic move for them. We make a giant V in the center of the field with the entire drum corps. It was actually inspired by a cartoon called The Venture Brothers that I had been watching a lot while I was writing. It was kind of on the TV in the background. At the end they say, "Go Team Venture," and they make a big V. Kind of stuck in my head. Here we have more puzzle pieces. The tenor line, spinning around the outside, become 5 segments with the trumpets, which build to the center of the field. The rest of the horns break off into 5 other segments. There's one puzzle in the middle that comes together, and another comes together when the horns join them.
And we had a nice display of the double tonguing technique by the trumpet section. And this was one of those moments that there was a big impact, and then we had to pull it way down, and I thought that worked real well visually and musically together.
Here off the corner of the left of the horns becomes a trumpet soloist, if you're watching the high cam. And not too many people noticed here that he becomes the puzzle piece for the next 30 seconds.
And that was Ryan Spencer.
You can watch Ryan here. He makes his way from right there to the back of the field. He'll come all the way around to the 50-yard line and find his place with the rest of the drum corps.
One of the puzzle pieces that we had to put together were all 20 trumpet players on mutes at this particular moment. And then we had both muted and open sections, so we had to take people off the mutes in one phrase and have other people playing at the same time until they all became open at this point.
And here it all ties together. We have our exclamation point for Eureka. Ryan is right in the center.
And the Eureka vocal yell. That actually was started by some of the ladies on the Miss Amana crew, which is our cook staff for the Vanguard. And, of course, it was a Memorial Day, and they saw that, and they yelled Eureka, and it stuck ever since.
It spread like wildfire. That was a big yell at finals there.
Yeah, nice to be in California.
Tommy Keenum, who designed our color guard outfits and flags as well. If you look down the left-hand side of there, you'll see a big white stripe, and that's another way of highlighting the exclamation point, separated by a different color cuff at the bottom. They tried to find as many ways to turn to the left as they could for big moments.
Mike Jackson brought this piece of music to the design team. This is the Ravel String Quartet, and we really like this because it was a way to highlight the percussionist, but also to use some thinner textures. We had a small ensemble of 10 players here, and we start layering larger groups on top of this.
And our chamber ensemble becomes part of a puzzle piece, and our guard soloists here, who were solid all summer on that, except for the one rehearsal where she was knocked unconscious. Taking one for the team. Here's another idea for the puzzle piece. Kind of look for moments where smaller bits that don't quite belong with the bigger ones. We've got the snare line in the feature and one bass drum. We don't see that very often.
Yeah, this was a tenor feature that got a lot of response throughout the season. This was one of those moments that was very difficult for us throughout the season. We ended the Ravel String Quartet, and we tied it together with the Bartók, which we thought was a really nice match. One of the issues that we had a lot of percussion prior to this moment and after this moment. So we had to compose this segment right here, and we thought that really worked well. It highlighted the guard soloist and the cymbal puzzle piece as well.
We had another moment there where we brought back the spinning cymbals and put them right in the center of the form, and it generated the resolution, the entire form. This was a great fun for me, this piece of music, to just blow it all up, put everybody in little tiny segments, and find little moments where little things don't quite belong, with one flag soloist there. If you look closely, 4 trumpets with the snares, where the section is on the other side of the field, and they kind of find their way back to home to finish the puzzle here. And it all comes together right here with a spinning line segment.
I remember working this daily because the field spread on this with the little brass elements ping-ponging back and forth together, it ended up being a real difficult moment for us, but we think it all came together pretty well by finals.
And here we go, just another way to take those groups of 4 people and spin them all together. There's a segment that doesn't quite resolve over there in the back left-hand corner. If you watch the high cam, you'll see that it resolves at the very end of this drill move. Instead of the segment coming to the horn line goes to the segment. Another iconic Vanguard move, we call that the push.
And we decided to do a crossfade here with the tail end of the Bartók and to the beginning of the Respighi. This is from Church Windows, and it's the movement St. Gregory the Great. A lot of nice moments here with the handbells in the front ensemble.
There's a lot of colorful moments here in the pit, written by Brian Mason.
There's a close-up of those handbells.
Here's another way to highlight the exclamation point, some great dance moments written by Carol Abohetav. This entire production was actually rewritten about 2 weeks before finals. We needed to find a little better way to create a lot of motion.
Watch Albert Lowe, the judge, almost getting nailed by the guard soloist. Look out, look out.
I was sitting up in the stands for this. There were a lot of gasps right around there. I thought there was going to be a big collision. It worked out just okay.
Beautiful lift. Dave Meikle and his team did a really nice job of interpreting the music here.
Now, in the music here, it's written in a meter that was too fast to march to or too slow to march to create a lot of visual motion. So what we ended up doing is to move them in 3 different ways. A lot of it, the horn members were moving out of time and trying to play their parts.
Yeah, this was a difficult moment for the brass section because of the feet. The lines are very, very long in terms of the musical thoughts, but I think it all resolved well here.
And again, the whole drum corps and 4-person segments come together. There's a great battery moment here.
Yeah, and I like how we chose to use the battery during the first statement of the phrase, and then we took them out the second, setting up yet another classic Vanguard moment from the bottle dance.
That was a big favorite with the California crowd.
Guaranteed applause at that moment. And the drum major, Alex Bernstein, with the finale from Daphnis and Chloé. I thought this was a very nice moment. When I heard the original music, it just spoke to me as being quintessential Vanguard. And the trumpets with their triplets that finally came together by finals.
That was another challenging point for us. Here we go again with our puzzle piece idea. Spinning 4-person segments and created an interesting moment for us. Funny enough, that worked out exactly with the music. We didn't have to adjust any bars when I sat down, and sequential step off, and by the end of it, it worked out exactly count-wise.
I think it was meant to be.
We blow up the ensemble one more time into 4-person segments and generate another eureka moment at the resolution. setting us up for the classic Vanguard yell. That was great to be in the stands watching that and having everybody erupt.
Honestly, it was great when they walked on the field at the beginning. I couldn't believe the stands erupting just to see the uniform come onto the stage.
That was a lot of fun. Driving to the end here, you'll see the cymbals on the 50-yard line spinning one more time, pushing everything into the final puzzle piece.
We ended the show almost the entire season right here, and just added this 4 shows before the end.
We decided we needed just one more Eureka moment to tie in the exclamation point. So Brian Mason and I sat down and composed this little ditty. This is the only moment of the show where we composed it visually first, and he wrote some fantastic pit parts. If you listen closely, there's a classic Vanguard tune in there as well. 4-person spinning lines into our final exclamation point. Another iconic Vanguard moment with the cymbals in the V.
Yeah, and we also have the toast.
Here's the one person at the front of the exclamation point. And the color guard, bring it back one more time, the bobble dance.
It was really great having DCI in California, and I really want to thank the people that made all of that happen. It was so nice to see just a gigantic fan base there cheering our team on. It was really a special moment for us.
Absolutely, we had quite a bit of fun out there.